Namaste children. Welcome back to another session of our chapter, that is fiber to fabric. So in this chapter fiber to fabric, till now we covered what is a fiber. Fiber, it is nothing but the thin strands of threads that are used to make a fabric. Then different types of fibers, that is your natural fibers and synthetic fibers. And even in the natural fibers, the further two different categories, that is your plant fibers and animal fibers. Then the plant fibers, what are the different parts of the plant that can be used to make the fiber, and few examples of that plant fibers. Yes, like your cotton, jute, coir, flax, hemp, silk, cotton. So these are some of the different examples of plant fibers, plants from where we will get the fiber. Okay, so now evolution of clothing, where initially the early man, to protect himself from the different weather patterns, because when he is moving from one place to another place in search of food, in search of to protect himself from the other animals, when he is moving from one place to another place, he used to expose to different type of weather patterns. So when he is exposing to different type of weather patterns, he started protecting or covering his body. So initially he started covering his body with the help of animal skins, leaves. Later on, when he got knowledge, that time he started some woven materials like silk. Later on, a lot of changes came in the fabric industry, and nowadays it became a very large scale industry where we are having a different fashions, sports clothing, religious clothing, regional clothing, like the different modifications we had seen in the history of clothing. Yes, so now the main focus of ours is the frequently used plant fiber, that is nothing but your cotton. Yes, that is nothing but your cotton. So what are where cotton it is cultivated? What are the different types of weather patterns that are required, in which type of soil a cotton it is cultivated? Like that we will study about cotton cultivation at first. Then we will go the processing of cotton. Okay children, let's see what are the different types of climatic conditions that are required for the cotton plant to grow. So generally when you will observe cotton, it is a very soft fiber. Yes, it's a very soft fiber which is growing around the seed. Here you can find, yes, all the whitish color snow-like structures, that is your cotton fiber which is growing around a hard seed. So now such a cotton plant, usually in which type of places it will grow? The cotton plant usually grow in places which are having a black soil and a warm climate. Yes, cotton it is grown in a places which are having a black soil and a warm climate. Like in India, if you will see, cotton it is mainly cultivated in the states like your Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. These are some of the states which are having a rich black soils with a warm climate. So in these areas like your Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, these are some of the states where we can see the cotton cultivation. Okay. So now we are saying warm climate. So what is the temperature requirement for the cotton crop? Mostly the cotton crop requires a temperature around 20 degrees Celsius. Yes, cotton crop mainly requires around a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and an average rainfall of about 60 centimeters. An average rainfall of about 60 centimeters. So cotton, as I said earlier, it is mainly grown in black soil with a warm climate where the temperature it is your 25 degrees Celsius and the average rainfall should be 60 centimeters. And if you will observe the cotton plant, it is a bushy plant and which always grows up to 1 to 2 meters in its length. It's a very bushy plant which always grows up to 2 1 to 2 meters only in its length. So in India, cotton it is mainly grown from the month of March to November. Yes, from the month of March to November, it is a suitable months or suitable climatic region where cotton crops can be cultivated in our India. So now let us see your cotton. As I said, it is a very soft and a fluffy stable fiber, yes, which is always growing in balls. Where around this cotton fiber means this cotton fiber grows around the cotton seeds. So now those soft fiber, that soft fiber, it is enclosed in a protective case that we are saying as a cotton ball. Here if you will observe, you can see the cotton ball. That but this cotton it steadily slowly grows in a very protective coverings. Cotton fiber it grows in a very protective coverings which we are calling as a cotton balls. So when the cotton ball had enough grown, means when the cotton ball have matured, that time now the cotton ball it will burst out. When the matured cotton ball, if it will enough cotton fiber it is formed in it, then it will burst out, and now all the fiber it is exposed like this. So now inside this cotton fiber we are having cotton seeds. Okay, so now when the entire cotton field, if it is having this opened cotton balls, that time that field it almost appears like a snow. Very beautifully one beautiful view we will get from the cotton fields when all the cotton balls that are opened out, because this cotton fiber is there na, it is very whitish in its color. So when the cotton ball it is burst out and it is open, little humidity it is present. So because of the sun heat, now that humidity it is also completely evaporated. Okay, so cotton fiber it is protected in a hard structure protective case that we are saying as a cotton ball. When enough cotton fiber it is formed within the cotton ball, then a matured cotton ball it will burst out. When it is burst out, the humidity present in these fibers it is completely evaporated because of the sun heat, and the entire field if it is completely having the opened cotton balls, it gives a very beautiful view, that is like some clouds or snow that is present in that region. Okay, so now if you will see what are the different uses of cotton, we are simply saying that yes, cotton is very much important. Cotton is very much important. But where and how we are using cotton? Why it is the most frequently used material? That also we should have an idea. So cotton generally it is used to make cloths. Cotton cloths. We all know. Cotton cloths means like your socks, t-shirts, yes, bed sheets, dresses. So these are some of the material fabrics we are getting from the cotton. Along with this, you know that cotton generally it is preferable material to wear in the summer season, because this summer season we know that a lot of sweat will come. Yes, and cotton cloths they will absorb a lot of sweat, and immediately they will uh, they will evaporate it. They are absorbing the sweat and immediately they are evaporating it quickly. So because of that we will feel cool. Yes. So if any what cloth that lets the air in it is called breath. If any clothing material, if it is letting the air to enter into it, that is called as breath. So because of the breath, now the absorbed sweat it is totally evaporated, and when it is getting evaporated our body feels completely cool. Okay, and such cotton which is a preferable fabric material used to wear in summer, it can easily be blended with some other fibers, like when it is blended with a fiber terling, yes, it forms a specialized mixed fiber that is called terracotta. Terracotta is a fiber which is formed by the combination of cotton and terling. Yes. Okay. So means this cotton not only a good absorber of sweat, even it is easily blended with some other fibers and forming a mixed fiber. In the same manner, if you will see, it is a material which can easily be dyed in different colors. And the cotton, even we know that we are using in the medical areas, like cotton, as I said, it is absorbing sweat, not only sweat. If you will see the cotton, even it absorbs the pus, even it absorbs the blood. So cotton, even it is used in the hospitals or medical field. Because of these unique qualities, cotton, it is selected as a fabric material. So now after this, the main concept, that is processing of cotton. So this processing of cotton is saying that here in this processing of cotton, the cotton fiber, it is made into cotton fabric. It's not that much easy how much easily we are saying processing of cotton. So this processing of cotton, it is having several different steps, starting from ginning, spinning, after that dyeing will come, weaving and knitting. So these are some different steps that are involved in the processing of cotton. So let us see the ginning method. So ginning, it is a method where the cotton seeds are removed from the cotton fiber. It is a method where the ginning method is separating the cotton seeds from the cotton fiber. Not only cottons, mainly cotton seeds, even if any small dust particles are present, that we have to separate with the help of hand. So here you are able to see two things. One is your ginning machine, a rolling gin machine, and the second one is your ginning comb. Yes, the ancient days ginning it is done with the help of a very big comb-like structures, which we are saying as a ginning combs. So recent days, because of the development in the industries, roller gins will also replace these ginning combs. So in these roller gins, if you will see a steel metallic plate that is present here, and we are placing the cotton fiber here. Let's have a quick look how the ginning it is done with the roller gins. Okay, children. Observe these, children. Yes. So here, if you will observe it clearly, there at this tip region you are having a cotton fiber, it is placed in between the metallic and the wooden rod. And now at the corner of the right hand side you are able to see the separated cotton seeds. So this is one simple roller gin that is used in the houses. But when it comes to in industries, these roller gins are completely well developed. 2 to 3 stepped metallic gins were placed. Okay, children. So now after ginning, this is a method where the cotton seeds that are separated from the cotton fiber. So once the ginning is completed, now entire this cotton fiber, it is completely pressed and gives a bundle shape. Such bundles we are saying as a bales. After ginning process, now all the cotton fiber it is pressed together, and that pressed one, bundles of cotton are called your bales. Okay. Now after ginning method, now the second method is your spinning. The second method, it is your spinning. Let's see what is spinning. Okay, children, the next step in the processing of cotton, that is your spinning method. So in this spinning method, we will see the cotton fiber, it is changed into a yarn. Changing of small cotton fibers into yarn. So it is a method where all the short, small fibers of the cotton are twisted together and forming a long continuous fiber that is called your yarn. So generally in ancient days, the spinning method, it is done with the help of hand spindles that are called tuckleys. Yes, the hand spinners that are called your Taklis. If you will see the Taklis, let me show you. So these are your Taklis, children, where here you are able to find out, yes, you are able to find out a long thread-like structures, that long thread-like structures that we are calling as a yarn. And this yarn, it is formed by the togetherness of the small short fibers of cotton, which is done with the help of a process that is called your spinning. So Taklis are the ancient devices that are used for this spinning. After Taklis, if you will see, now slowly the Taklis that are replaced by another method, another type of devices that are called your charkas. So initially you had seen spinning there, that is also a charka. This is another type of charka. These charkas are used, here you are able to find out, he is holding the cotton fiber in his hand, and that cotton fiber, it is becoming into a long thread like structure, that is your yarn. So these charkas are hand operated devices used for spinning method. So here charkas not only a simple ones, these charkas even played a very great role in our independence fight, where Mahatma Gandhi, he started provoking the people, and he started creating an awareness about the non-cooperative movement in India, where all the imported items from the Europe countries were prohibited, stopped, banned, and the our country fabric materials that were started using. So to promote our country, our cotton fibers, Mahatma Gandhi started using a great, in this great non-cooperative revolution, he started using these charkas as a spinning device. And spinning, that charka really played a very great role in independence movement. And these charkas, if you will say, this is the charka that have played a great role in the independence movement. Not only there, even the Ashok Chakra of our flag, it was replaced by the charka. Initially, the Indian flag have the charka at the center of the white color, but now later on it is replaced by the Ashok Chakra. So your charka is having a very vital role in the improvement of our Indian fabric textile mills. Really very great role it is having in the improvement of Indian fabric textile mills. So now after spinning, it is about dyeing, where the cotton, it is colored into different type of colors. So now after that, it is your weaving method. About weaving and dyeing method we will discuss in our next classes. Okay children, thank you so much.